Just critting around the Deion Sanders episode, number 21.
Oh, I like that. We should keep it going.
I mean, we could do that.
We should do it.
We got a lot in store. I mean, we could talk a little bit of it. We'll get into college football. But Chris, how you doing out in Charlotte?
I'm doing good, man. It's the original. It's the OGs.
Oh, geez.
We got Matt. I mean, more power to him, helping his family and friends down in Florida from Hurricane Irma. So we respect it. We hope you listen. You still suck. And then Dearest, he just flaked on us. So it's just us two again and the guy with no face. But I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. You know,
I mean, there's not a place I would rather be for sure.
Yeah,
Diggs.
I'm in my home.
What's up, man?
How are you okay, man? Because the Colts.
Yeah. It was just not a good weekend for me. Like, I watched both my teams just get stomped out.
Yeah, I mean, you did have something to say about the Ohio State game last week.
I mean, I thought it was going to be a close game, but
you guys should have made a bet on that.
No, that's why I said
can we?
bet on college
the bad
football.
thing about that is it should have been a complete blowout. OU, had some self-inflicted wounds in the first half that it could have got out of hand in the first half.
Well, honestly, two takeaways from there. One, JT Barrett, I think you can say it's too early, and obviously Oklahoma's a very good team, but he may need to get benched in the way he's been trending. I mean, he got outplayed in the spring game earlier in the year, but he still won the job just because of seniority and clout. And now he can't throw. Like, he literally just cannot run an offense. They rolled out a 1975 offense trying to beat Oklahoma, who has the young gun. Basically, they're playing the old school style of Urban Meyer. I don't know, because Lincoln Riley, you guys didn't dominate their defensive line. It's just the play calling was superior on Oklahoma's side.
Lincoln Riley is the best offensive mind in college football, and he has been for the past couple years. I mean, this guy, to realize some of the play, he ran so Baker Mayfield gets hurt. He's got a cramp. He has to go out for one play. Kyler Murray, which remember that name because he'll be in the NFL. I mean, he won't be playing quarterback probably in the NFL, but he's 5'10", the fastest guy on OU's team, and probably one of the fastest guys in college football. Comes in the game. Excuse me. They run a read option, right? He hands it off to the running back. The running back starts taking it, and then he's basically is the pitch man or the running back.
An option.
Yeah, it turns into an option. So it was like two layers of option in the same play, and it went for like a 10-yard game. But it's just who comes up with that and it just
those wrinkles,
runs
man.
so smoothly, and being able to use a fullback when the NFL and college football. They did away with the fullback. Lincoln Riley was recruiting Dimitri Flowers out of high school, and he couldn't really play running back, but he would be a great fullback. Good. Let's use him. I'll adapt my offense to his personnel. I never used a fullback before in my offense, but I'm going to use Dimitri Flowers, and he uses them well.
Well, to give credit to Lincoln Riley, I mean, it's obviously due because the man, when he was under the name's escaping, but when he was at ECU under Ruffin McNeil.
Ruffin McNeil.
Yeah. ECU with Shane Carden, like a scrub, literally a scrub. Let's put it that way. It was one of the best offenses in the nation. And when they
five.
Yeah, and then he leaves and they're nothing. They're literally nothing. Zay Jones and Justin Hardy are under Lincoln Riley, and they're setting records for most catches. But now he's gone, and ECU is nothing, and Oklahoma has obviously transcended. And I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about the apology that Oklahoma made Baker Mayfield do? Because truly, he's not sorry about that.
Oh, no. It's just one of those, formalities that he just had to do. It's like, when he got up there, he had to apologize. But in the end, no apology. I mean, OU has a big rivalry with Texas, as everyone knows. And whoever wins that game does the exact same thing. It is on a neutral field, so it feels a little different.
I mean, this is how rivalries are born.
Oh, yeah. That's why you watch college football for stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, there was no harm in it. There was no, people might say there's a little disrespect, but in rivalries, that, as long as, exactly.
I agree.
And so I love it. I wish there was more of that.
Me too. Absolutely. I'm on your side of the fence.
Yeah. I mean, nobody tore down a goalpost, even though, obviously we're at Ohio State. But no, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I think, like I said, Ohio State's got a lot of improvement to do at the quarterback position. Either JT Barrett needs to find that switch that he had that one year when he came in, But obviously they've lost a lot of offensive talent, and that could be what it is. Maybe he was just relying more on the talent, and now that he doesn't have what he used to, it's kind of showing.
The only pass he can hit consistently, and it's, might not even be consistently, is that 5-yard hitch.
Yeah.
Everything outside of that is just, your coin flip. And it made me think when I was watching the game, and I've seen JT Barrett struggle before, is does Urban Meyer put more stock in a leader than an actual, talented passer? And you think of Tim Tebow?
But Tim Tebow put up numbers passing the ball still.
He did, but a lot of it was offensive design, kind of like Barrett's putting up numbers. But when you go back and look at it, Tebow was, he was pretty clutch. But when it came down to it, on some of their tougher plays, it was just basically a power, dive up the middle with Tebow.
Oh, yeah.
So
it definitely helps. It's definitely personnel. I don't know. I think if anything, that shows me. Ohio State has a dominant defense. They do, but if they're not going to be able to score with the top 4 teams in the country, which are the ones that make it, then I don't see them in the college playoff. And this could be a way too early reaction from me.
Well, they're in the Big Ten, so that helps them out.
Okay, but Michigan's still going to be good. That's going to be a good game for them. Other than that, I guess Penn State. Do they play Penn State this year? It just depends. I'd have to look at their schedule.
Yeah,
there's a couple good teams still up there.
Yeah, it's people are quick to, discount what OU accomplished. And,
no. It's definitely a good win.
Yeah, but if you look at it's like Ohio State's sorry. Ohio State's not sorry. They've got some problems, but
they lost to the top 14.
Yeah. That's a good college football game.
I'm glad. Just to wrap it all up, I'm glad that they celebrated with Bob Stoops. That's awesome. It was perfect. Yeah,
and Bob Stoops, he's doing it the right way. You don't see a coach that just retired from football and now he's going to all the games. And,
he recruited those players.
I know, and it's cool to see the leaving on the right way. In football, I've never really seen someone leave this way and still be around the program. Right. You might have somebody that's super old and retires, but they're kind of, their teams are starting to go downhill.
Yeah, like he could have stayed and coached for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But, name to remember, Drake Stoops, which is Bob Stoops. His son? Yeah, his son. He plays wide receiver. He put up, the first week, he put up 300 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. He's a senior this year.
Jeez.
Getting recruited by quite a few people. He actually might come to OU.
So he's a senior in high school.
Yeah, he's legit. Okay. Yeah, he's legit. He put up some other yards. He's not the fastest, but he reminds you of, kind of like an Edelman, David Dolenbold. So.
Just that slot, knows where to run the routes. Just to stick to college real quick before we move on, I want to talk about the Georgia-Notre Dame game. I believe it was on during your OU game, so you might not have seen it. But that was probably the best game of the weekend. As far as, it wasn't the highest scoring. It was 20-19, but the defense just came to play. Notre Dame has extreme talent up there. But one thing that really showed is Georgia's defense is elite. They may not right now with Jacob Eason out, they don't have the passing game down packed per se, but that defense can play with anybody, and I'm convinced of it. I think the SEC East, although it's been weak in the past, it's going to come down to between Georgia and South Carolina, in my opinion. So whoever wins that game will win the SEC East. Outside of that, college football was just college football. Lamar Jackson's going nutty. He's dropping buckets left and right.
I can't wait for that Clemson game.
He
looks like an NFL quarterback. He's playing like one right now.
No, he can legitimately throw. He throws dots. It's perfect. And honestly, I'm a North Carolina fan too-ish, and it really hurt me to see Chaz Surratt go out, the redshirt freshman, because he was battling with Lamar Jackson that game. Going into halftime, I believe it was 20-14, and Chaz Surratt was 12 of 14 for 2 touchdowns. So I don't know. So he's got a really high ceiling. I think the ceiling is the roof. UNC's got a long way to go, and he's going to be there for years to come. So they'll be fine. Other than that, do you guys have any other college football things you want to bring up? Anything you noticed from the weekend?
I think there is.
I was so wrapped up in the Ohio State Oklahoma game. I did catch a little bit of the Georgia Notre Dame game, but to add on to your point, people forgot about Lamar Jackson. I almost, when I started looking at some of the websites, college football previews, I almost thought he left school because I didn't see anything on him. Returning Heisman winner, you think he would be front and center of everything.
He's going to win the Heisman again at this rate.
Yeah, and so that was astonishing to me on how quick people were, to put JT Barrett and Baker Mayfield above him. and the preseason stuff.
See, and Baker Mayfield, I think he has NFL potential as well. But sticking with Lamar Jackson, he put on 15 pounds of pure muscle. So I don't know if you've actually watched him play a lot this year yet, but he is in the past, he was more that Ferrari. He still is because he can get up and go in one step. But now he is dragging defenders and he is taking more hits. Yeah. Obviously, that's not good for your QB, but just the dedication to get big.
He's
in
not
college,
afraid
it's
to
okay.
bang.
Yeah,
he's not afraid to bang at all.
Right.
Here's the thing, though, is, you see this with dual threat quarterbacks. Even though his arm is great, he looks great, throws dots. They, especially when they get to the NFL, they just, when times get tough.
Yeah, they rely on that athleticism.
Yeah, and they always end up getting hurt, or they don't make the right reads, and that's what we see too much. So it's almost like their blessing ends up turning into a curse.
Well,
when they reach the NFL.
It's the default mechanism because your whole life you've been more athletic. You've been like the guy, because once you get to the NFL, everybody, they're not going to be just as athletic as you, but they are damn near close.
Yeah.
So you're facing guys that you've never necessarily seen before. You're playing in North Carolina for say this weekend. And I mean, their defense isn't good at all. We'll be honest. They have a couple good players here and there, but outside of that, North Carolina's not known for defense. Neither is Purdue or whoever they play. But he's still, the fact he's going out there week in, week out and putting up those numbers is very impressive. If he goes out and lights up a Clemson defense, which is probably the best in the nation right now, then that will definitely show me something. So that's this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this weekend.
Yeah, this weekend.
Dude, college football, they stay with the big games, man. I love it.
The regular season is just so much fun in college football, just because every loss is
one game. You lose one and you could be done, basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I mean, you're watching a playoff game week 2, like we did last week.
Exactly.
And week 3, we're watching another playoff game, Clemson, Louisville. There's nothing like it, in my opinion.
No, and the atmosphere of college football is what I've always liked more than NFL, because NFL playoffs is super dope. I would go to that's a whole different beast, but just every game is like that at a college football game, as long as you're good. You know what I mean? Because if you're bad, stadiums will be empty, but whatever.
Right. And then you have the student section, which they're always just drunk and rowdy, and you have the band. There's just so many different demographics at a college football game that
mingling.
Makes it what it is.
Dude, next episode, one of these episodes, we should do our top 3 or something atmospheres that we want to go to, our bucket list of college places.
Yeah, I've definitely
because I got one in my head right now, but I'll just put it on my list. It's gonna be
the best college football game that I've ever been at, and I'll just throw this out. It was OU Texas Tech in 2008.
When they had Crabtree and all that?
Yeah, so they had Crabtree and Graham Harrell, and Texas Tech came in as number 1. You talk about the craziest atmosphere. It replays in my head all the time. In OU Stadium, for big games they get up, but that game it was ignited. The whole place was crazy.
And before we leave it, what's crazy about college football is when I went to ECU, which they were good when I went. They had Lincoln Riley and Ruffin McNeil. They were ranked top 25. You go into it and just looking through the tunnel, it just is that feel of college football. There's nothing like it, because you go to the NFL game and it's more like a wine and cheese crowd. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a family atmosphere more.
And when you're at an NFL game, it doesn't seem like reality. It feels like, you're at a business. Everything is just to the T.
Yeah.
You see players, they know exactly what to do on the sidelines. There's not as many players on the sidelines. It's totally different. I remember watching T.O. when the Niners came and played Dallas, and it's just totally different. It's still a good fun game, but it's nothing like college and that type of atmosphere.
So I guess we can transition now from football, since we've been talking about NFL, to the NFL. Now, a lot of things actually happened this first week, and by a lot of things, I mean a lot of injuries and a couple upsets here and there. But mainly, for anybody who drafted first, I feel sorry for you. We all know who you picked up first overall, and my man David Johnson out for possibly 12 weeks to 2 to 3 months, and they're already 0-1. So it's a bad start for the Cardinals, in my opinion. If they don't get healthy, not if they don't get healthy, if they don't start winning games, we're just going to see David Johnson out for the year. But he's already ruined fantasy leagues across the world. Allen Robinson's done for the year. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Was that on the sideline when he got hurt? Robin?
No, I don't know where it was. I didn't see the actual injury, but I did see him on the ground, and Blake Bortles came to help him. Not help him, but like say, hang in there. You know what I mean? Like pat him on the back, basically. And ended up hitting his bad knee.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was so bad. It was the funniest thing ever, right? Another big name from a big team, Eric Berry, ruptured his Achilles. He's going to be gone for the year.
I hate to see that.
Right, especially when he was dominating. He had that fourth down stop, which changed the whole game. Ronald Darby from the Bills, I believe, or is he on the Eagles now?
No, he's on the Eagles.
That's what I thought. On the Eagles, dislocated ankle, and Kevin White, the human I'm broke machine, dies again.
That's sad, man. Yeah, he's got the talent to be a top elite, top 5 receiver. And he just can't.
He's frail, man. He's frail. Didn't drink enough milk as a kid. Don't know what it is. So I mean, that's mainly it for injuries. What do you have any takeaways? What stood out to you most from the NFL weekend? What that was week 1?
So, the Chiefs beating the Pats, which
you called it. I'll give it to you.
I called that, but the Chiefs' offense got vertical.
Yeah,
we haven't seen that from Alex. We haven't seen that in a long time from Alex Smith.
Do you think part of that is because of the drafting of Patrick Mahomes? Do you think that maybe he's like, you know what? I still have it in me. I can do. I can be better than what you guys think I am.
When he threw that 45-yard pass on a dime to Kareem Hunt when he was coming out of the backfield,
Marsh chasing him.
I thought, man, maybe he's kicked in the next gear and say, hey, I can throw deep. I've got a deep ball here. I'm cautious, but hey, Andy Reid drafts a guy that's not so cautious. He's more of a gunslinger. I've got a little gunslinger in me. I'm not going to worry about losing my job because hopefully I can play out 2-3 more years, be great, and then Mahomes can take over. So I did see that because I haven't seen that from him.
No, not even back when he was in Utah or anything. I mean, Alex Smith has always just been the game planner, and like you said, play cautious. But now maybe, I mean, with that defense, you can throw caution to the wind to say, you have that off, and that offense is high powered. I mean, Kareem Hunt put up the best performance of the week, probably.
Yeah. Well, and Tyreek Hill, you got him, and do we know his injury status? I know he did leave.
What was it, like a hamstring? It looked like when I saw
it. But I mean, of course, he tortured OU, or actually won the game for OSU one year when he returned a punt for OSU. But I mean, he's a legit threat going deep, and a special teams returner, and he's not small. I mean, he runs that fast, and he's a stocky-looking guy.
Yeah, no.
So they're exciting to watch for sure.
No, that team. With Travis Kelce, with Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt now, like that team has weapons everywhere for Alex Smith, and it's not a surprise that he's going more vertical. Speaking of vertical, this is something that I learned from the weekend, and I've been typing it in our chats 24/7. My man, Matthew Stafford, showing why he deserves right now to be the highest paid quarterback. I know it's all like a revolving door and he's going to get replaced. But right now he showed in 1 week plus the past, not just this week, that he, 1, is a top 10 QB and 2, deserves that $27 million a year because he went up against not a slouch defense in Arizona and put up 4. I didn't even start him on my fantasy team for that reason. And he went in there. They were losing at what was like 9-0 at one point and ends up rattling off 21 unanswered, wins the game, 4 touchdowns, 2 to Galladay, who is an emergence at receiver down there or up there in Detroit.
Yeah, no, he played really well.
So, I mean, and people like Nick Wright, for instance, on Fox Sports 1, when Matthew Stafford first signed this, was very, very quick to get on Matthew Stafford and the Lions, saying he doesn't deserve this money. He's not that good. He's not even a top 10 QB, blah, blah, blah. But, in fact, I believe the numbers would argue different. The man's 29, and since he's been with Jim Bob Cooter, has shown nothing but improvement and is showing that he's entering his prime. And now he already has over 30,000 yards passing in his career, has the franchise record for most passes, most completions, most yards, most touchdowns in Detroit Lion history already. And in a league where if you don't have a QB, you're not going to win at all.
Right. I
think this is the perfect signing for them. And he led them to a playoffs with no run game, has yet to have a run game, still doesn't have one yet this year. His O-line is mediocre at best, and every defense knows he's coming out throwing the ball, yet they still can't stop him. Yeah, he'll throw a pick or two a game maybe because he's a gunslinger, He's a gunslinger like a Brett Favre, but the man still he delivers every game in and game out. Last year he had 8 game-winning drives.
Oh yeah, he can win the game with that same gunslinging mentality.
Right.
You know, he might throw a pick and dig himself into a hole.
He'll come right back out and throw it again.
He's got, you know, his arm strength is phenomenal. It was when he was at Georgia. He can. You see a lot of highlights of him sidearming the ball, but a lot of times that's to, you know, get in the window of his lineman and throw the football, so he can kind of move his arm around and throw from different release points. He's that's why I was trying to think. Okay, top 3 quarterbacks in the league. I got to put Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You know, fill in that 3rd slot. Where do I go? And if Matthew Stafford keeps performing like he did this past weekend, he's going to work his way in there.
Yeah. Oh, I think this is the year for Matthew Stafford to really cement himself. I think he's top 10. There's doubters out there on Matthew
he's
Stafford.
absolutely top 10.
Yeah, there's obviously we saw that tier list where he wasn't, but I think this is the year where he supplants most quarterbacks in the league. You know, I feel like he's on a par with Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had one good year and gets the MVP. We saw them come out and struggle against the Bears, which I'm sure we'll get into. So I don't know. I think, like you're saying, if he doesn't get top 3, may be a stretch, but I think this year, if he performs the way he is, especially with Jim Bob Cooter there now, and if those running backs can stay healthy enough, then I think he will most certainly at least get to that 5th spot.
That's another thing too. Diggs, you know, I'll get your input on this, but in the NFL and maybe even in college football, we're seeing this with OU and Baker Mayfield. D.D. Westbrook is gone. You know, the Heisman Trophy finalist. He's gone. All of a sudden, the passing game looks better without them there. And same thing with some of these NFL teams, like Calvin Johnson's been gone for 1 full season, and then this season. Is it better for a quarterback to have some, you know, a lot of good receivers and maybe really good but not great receivers on the team that you know they're trying to get the ball? Is it better for them in the NFL? And we see that with Tom Brady too.
I mean, I think so. I mean, I feel like some quarterbacks still get comfortable with one receiver, they know they'll rely on them, and then sometimes they'll try to force them the ball. Like you saw, like you said with Matt Stafford, when Calvin was there, he got in trouble, he would just look to Calvin. He would just throw it somewhere in his area and let him go get it.
Yeah. But I think, I mean, I totally a perfect example would be the year that the Panthers went to the Super Bowl. KB tears his ACL in OTAs or preseason, and we come out there with a ragtag group of guys with the Jericho Cotchery, Devin Funches as a rookie, Greg Olsen, obviously, and Billy Brown, dudes who aren't even on our team anymore. And Cam Newton has an MVP season, the best year of his career. Granted, he did run the ball a lot, but he had an ample number of passing touchdowns. So I think it just shows that when you have more weapons and you aren't just keyed in on that one guy, that it just makes it harder for the defense, because now they have to worry about that drag underneath or that check down, or because when everybody's a playmaker in the NFL. You made it there because you're a playmaker at some level. Mm-hmm. So if you can get the ball in open space and make somebody miss or just be sure-handed, then that's definitely the way the NFL is leaning towards, because we see it with running backs too. Now there's more than just having your one feature back. I mean, there's some teams like Jacksonville who does.
And they can all catch.
Yeah, exactly. Out of the backfield. That's the main thing. You need to be able to catch as a running back now. Like, if you don't, you're hindering your career.
Oh, yeah, you might not see the field in the NFL. But
and speaking of running backs catching, I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like, obviously it's week 1, so maybe offenses aren't in the groove yet. But I mean, offensive performance were kind of lackluster, to say the least. But there were some standouts, like a Tariq Cohen up there in Chicago, the 5'8" superstar out of North Carolina A&T, like who nobody had. Only reason he was heard of is because he did a backflip catch on Instagram, and then people started to realize who he was. But he comes out there and has like 6 carries for 40-something yards, something crazy. Like he had a lot of touches, and then he had 8 catches for 60 or something. Like, the man put up straight numbers while they have Jordan Howard, who as a rookie last year turned out to be one of the best running backs in the league. So it just shows that you can never have enough weapons, because defenses are so good and so smart in the NFL now that you just have to be able to take advantage in different areas.
Yeah. No, yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned him coming from North Carolina A&T T. Is that how you say it? I've
AT,
never said it. Sounds,
yeah.
I want to say AT&T.
Man, disrespecting the H. You better get him, Diggs.
But I mean, then you look at David Johnson coming from Northern Iowa, an FCS school. FCS is where my brother plays. So you see running backs and quarterbacks. You see some wide receivers there, but for the most part, when they go FBS Division I, only one running back, one feature running back, and obviously one quarterback are going to play. So you have a lot of these running backs and quarterbacks that are going into FCS. Because if you divide the FBS is like the top 120 teams, and then you add in the FCS, it gets them up to 200, I think like 220 teams. So there are a lot of quarterbacks and running backs in that FCS that we're seeing. You don't hear of them until they're in the NFL, and you see a guy like the Chicago Bears running back have a game like that. And right. I think we're seeing it more and more. You're just seeing some of this talent come from these schools that I think, some of their highlights are easier to access. And
well, yeah, internet definitely helps that because now every game is taped and can be put online. Yeah. And that's a good point. I never really thought of that until you said it. But, yeah, I mean, I agree. I think you do see the one quarter. I don't know. I feel like we're seeing a whole kind of shift. Obviously, the Jones brothers love the I formation pro style. But the way football is going now is turning to more of that spread offense.
Yeah.
The ball. So you need more than just one player to do it because we see in Georgia, I mean, they have Nick Chubb, who is going to be their all-time leading rusher when it's all said and done. But he can't even see the field that much because they have Sony Michel. They have Swift coming out the backfield. Like, they have so many weapons that they want to use every weapon. They don't want to just force feed one person.
Yeah. Well, and that's just like, I hate to keep reverting back to OU, but they lose Mixon and Pirine. They're not supposed to be able to rush the ball that well. Yeah. Well, guess what? We got 4 guys that are all really good, pretty good.
I mean, we see in Alabama. When's the last time Alabama had a bad running back in college?
I know. And they all bring some different feature sets that you get to use. So I think it's just good to have some variety and not have a great player.
Yeah.
I think
when you have a great player, you're handcuffed to him.
Unless he's a quarterback. I truly believe that if you don't have if you have a great quarterback like a Tom Brady, like, Stafford could be, Drew Brees, I think Drew Brees is starting to get towards the end of his career, but if you have a great quarterback, the rest of the players, you need them really good, but and you might need some great defensive players, but on offense, I don't think you need, and maybe a running back, but as far as wide receiver goes, and I think, we kind of all agree, you don't need that great receiver to be the diva, the Terrell Owens.
Right.
There's
so many receivers out there now.
Yeah, and so to Matt's point, I don't see Odell getting the, quarterback money because
no, not a chance.
No.
I mean, now he's going to have to make, if he wants to be the highest paid player, he's going to have to make more than $27 million a year. And nobody is going to pay that to a wide receiver.
No.
I mean, obviously it kind of shows how much they missed him, but at the same time, that offensive line was getting abused by the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, it was.
So that had nothing to do with OBJ at all.
No. Yeah, it was getting abused, and they don't have a running game either, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Diggs, you've been quiet, so we're going to bring you into the fold here. You like the little team up there in Indianapolis, don't you? I'm correct?
I do.
Yeah, so what happened?
Man,
we had a rough weekend, huh?
Scott Tolzien couldn't throw the ball to anybody but the Rams corners. And the defense was on the field the whole game, so, I mean.
That was really a Madden score.
Yes, it was. It was terrible.
And y'all made Goff look like a bona fide star.
I just wish they should have just started Brissett. Like, I understand he didn't have the time to really learn the playbook or anything, but I mean, he came in and scored the touchdown in like 4 plays.
Can't you just at that point, even though he came in late, can't you just either make a super, super dumb playbook? Who cares? Just be have all your running plays because all you have to do is hand that off, and then just say slants or something. Nobody's going to hear your play in the huddle. Just call what you want your guys to do in the most dumbed down NFL logic instead of these crazy marshmallow fluff playing on 7. You know what I mean?
And that's one thing I've never understood. I think the play calling in the NFL is just stupid.
Yeah, I think it's I honestly agree with you because in college, I get it. Quarterbacks aren't as smart because they look to the sideline to get the plays from coaches with boards and stuff.
Right.
But who's to say that's not an effective system? Just because Yeah,
It is. I mean, just think. They're looking, okay, they're lining up and they have two plays every time a quarterback, usually when a quarterback goes out there in college, and they look over to the sideline and they'll kill one of them if somebody from the booth sees how the defense is aligning, see subs and stuff. So it's very effective in college. Now I get it. And I still think they get in the NFL, it's just they have the, headset. But I think, even when they're killing some plays, I think they're killing it to a play that was called. Yeah. Okay, people, some of these quarterbacks are getting too much credit because when Alex Smith was killing some of the plays, he was killing it to the play that was called. They'll call two plays pretty much all the time in any football.
Well, I mean, you always have, they're going to say this, and then you can audible, like if you have the freedom to audible. Obviously, rookies don't for the most part. Yeah. But
they still have the ability to audible to that. Yeah, to kill and go to another play. Maybe, they have to kill it to another play.
It's like if you have a passing play, you're always going to have that one running play to kill into, basically. You're going to be like, if this isn't there, if you see the coverage isn't there, kill into halfback dive, whatever you're going to run.
Right. And so that's, I think we give a little too much credit to some NFL.
Yeah, too much credit, and I think we hold it to too high of a standard. I mean, obviously we're not QBs, so we don't know per se, but I think it's just something that they use to hinder or make it seem more difficult than it actually has to be. It should, because then at that point, I really don't understand. Nobody's hearing your play. I'm having a revelation right now.
Well, and the crazy thing is, I was thinking about this last night is, even if you have that crazy mumble, all that marshmallow, banana, spider, it's like if you use that consistently, then people are gonna pick up on that. And I don't understand. It could be so much easier because when they're saying spider, Y2X, shallow, Z cross, it's all it should be so much easier.
All code. It's just coding. Yeah. I guess. Before, since we let you talk about you didn't seem too happy about your Colts.
No, I don't. I don't even really.
Another thing I saw from the NFL, which actually doesn't have to do with the player, is how good of a broadcaster Tony Romo is going to be.
So I didn't get to see it. Was he really good?
I'll link you the clip. I'll link you the clip, which is like a montage of all the ones he did. And I mean, granted, he is freshly removed from the game, so he knows what today's day and age is, while most of the other guys are kind of living back in their times.
Yeah.
But he was legitly saying, like, calling out what was about to happen. He would say, if you see this, he would be like, if this slot corner comes up right now, look for the fade. And that's sure enough, that's what they did. And
that's awesome, man. As a fan.
He literally, he gave you the insight that a QB would have while reading the play. And every time they would come and show a blitz, he would identify it how he probably would as a QB in a film room and say, oh, here they come, blah, 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 look for this and this. And, like, legitly, like, I'm going to link it for you. You'll be impressed.
All right. I'll have to check it out.
He was very good. Yes, very good.
See, that's what I want to see. That's why I like Gruden so much. And Gruden's kind of shied away a little bit from that. And he's a little out of touch. Like you said, Tony Romo's fresh out, so he knows, all the, new calls that might have been around since Gruden left. So, yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. I'm happy to have Romo in the booth.
Yeah, no, me too, man. What's up?
I was gonna say, speaking of Romo ex-Cowboy Zeke. So Diggs, what's going on?
So NFL, they decided that they're going to appeal the Texas court's decision for the restraining order that Zeke got. So he may actually miss some time. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but
I think they'll still drag. I think they'll still drag it.
Yeah,
out.
I think it's going to get dragged out long enough.
Yeah,
like
maybe
it's going to go into the offseason. Yeah, he'll miss some time.
Yeah,
and like we've all agreed in past episodes, he's definitely going to end up missing some sort of time. And honestly, it's probably going to be the full 6 now that he appealed. You know what I mean? And done this whole thing. Roger Goodell ain't going to come in with the.
But Brady did the same thing though.
Yeah, I know. So, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. Clearly, the Cowboys knew something that we didn't. I mean, the team that beat them twice last year, they literally made them look terrible.
Well, the crazy thing is they came out the gates throwing the football a lot. And
Dak still looks good.
Yeah, he looked good. But I'm watching it with my wife, who's a big Cowboys fan. We went over to some people's house that they're Cowboys fans, and they were mad because they kept throwing the football. They're like, run the football. But in the end, it worked out really well because it opened up their whole offense. Right. And
now they got to respect the pass.
Yeah. So maybe, we'll see some more of that. And maybe Dak won't have the sophomore slump like I was thinking he was going to have. And I was surprised that their secondary played well.
Yeah, I think most of it, though, is because of how bad the offensive line was from the Giants. Every time I looked, Eli Manning was getting pressured, sacked, or something, and he looked terrible. But I think it's a product of no run game with no offensive line.
Like, is he going to be done here soon, Eli?
I don't know. I feel like he'll end up getting another chance somewhere. Somebody's going to – if he doesn't –
Does he want to, though?
If he doesn't get up and retire, I think he will.
Yeah. I'm just thinking he might give up here.
Dude, the dude's got 2 Super Bowl rings. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame probably.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, give up. Don't take any more of a.
Hey, go be an analyst. I don't know if he can do that.
Nah, he wouldn't do that. He doesn't have the personality.
Yeah, he ain't got personality, man.
Yeah, he's probably but you put him in a booth and as a color guy, and he's probably great. Like, he could call stuff out, even though he wouldn't have much of a personality. I can't see it, but
obviously, this is just our week 1 thoughts. It's going to change from week to week. This could be all of our overreactions, or maybe we didn't react to something enough at all. Mm-hmm. So we'll let it play out a little bit more before we get into it. We'll get to the halfway point. Remember also to make sure you guys make your pick'em. If you're watching this and you're in our pro pick'em league, make sure you put your picks in by Thursday because that's when the first game is. So I haven't had the chance to look at the scoreboard. It's got to be pretty close though.
Yeah, I think you and Justin are tied.
I think you took the lead because I picked the Chargers to beat Denver.
I took the lead.
So you're 11. Oh, yeah. You got 11 games. I got 10.
Let's go.
Yeah,
those Monday night games actually ended up being pretty good.
Dude, no, the Chargers one was good.
Yeah.
First of all, Denver, how do they win back-to-back season openers from a timeout before the field goal where the field goal goes in, and then this one they blocked, obviously, and last year Carolina missed? Like, is it just something in the air? I don't know. I feel bad, too, because that's a good kicker in San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not his fault at all. Somebody I don't know who I was in the party with last night on Xbox was trying to tell me that it was his fault. And I was like, no, it got blocked. Like, he can't.
They were in Denver, correct?
Yeah.
Well, when you get into Colorado and Wyoming, Utah, you play basketball, you throw a football around, it carries a little more. Baseball, and sometimes that, even though it carries up, if it's carrying up to the left, it have a little more. It won't. You need to keep it lower, and so it gets blocked. There's some things that.
But that guy was in the backfield. Like, he was in. Like, it wasn't just like he got his hand up on the line. Like, he barged straight through Dan Feeney, which is like some rookie guard over there. But
yeah, definitely not the kicker's fault. They might have said he should have got it up higher, but
to shift gears. We're going to go into the changes of the NBA draft lottery real quick before Top Hat, if that's everything. Basically, the NBA is implementing a change to the draft lottery, which is the bottom 4 teams will have the same odds of getting the number 1 pick. And the whole hindsight and end goal of this is to try to discourage teams from tanking. And I want to get your guys' thoughts on that because, in my opinion, I don't think this is going to discourage tanking. Because these days, with the talent that is coming out, the number 4 pick is just as good as the number 1 almost.
Yeah. No, so my thoughts are, and I think I heard this from somebody that I was listening to, but once a team is eliminated from the playoffs, it's how many games they can win, and that's basically where you would put them. It would have to be a percentage. So let's say one team gets knocked in the playoffs and they've got 20 games left. Well, they win 10 of those, and then another team gets knocked out with 8 games left and they win 4. Well, they would essentially be the same. They won 50% of their remaining games after they got knocked out. Then you have those teams battle or, get more balls. You see what I'm saying? Like, have something where you're letting some of these teams play better. You would still have to have the worst teams in there that got eliminated from the get-go as getting more ping pong balls. But I think you have to have some incentive for these teams to give the fans a show.
Is there a salary floor in the NBA, right? There is, right?
Yeah, there's a minimum.
Okay. I was going to say, because if there's not, that needs to be in there right now.
Yeah.
But that's why we see teams picking up contracts like an Iman Shumpert's $10 million.
Yeah.
Matt. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Diggs?
Uh, yeah, I don't know. Like,
I think teams are still going to tank at the end of the day.
yeah, they're definitely going to tank. Like you said, the fourth pick is just as good. But
so what do you think? Y'all think if teams had an incentive once they're eliminated from the playoffs to win games, that would be better for everybody?
So like whoever won the most percentage of games after they were eliminated.
Yeah, yeah. That way teams don't tank.
I mean, that's interesting. But what about like that team that just missed the playoffs, right? Well, the lottery's only the top 15,
right? It would have to be a cutoff. Like you can't, like if there's 5 games remaining, who cares?
Yeah.
But it would have to be some of the
maybe like the top 8 picks or something get thrown into that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you might not be able to give it first, but definitely give them some priority. Hey, they gave the fans a show,
right?
When they didn't have to.
They tried to win. There's a solution somewhere. I'm sure the NBA. I mean, honestly, the NBA is in good hands with Adam Silver, in my opinion, at least so far. He's done a good job. Not too much to mess up, right? I mean, David Stern.
Yeah, David Stern built the empire.
Yeah,
as long as Silver can
keeps it going,
do his thing. But
I mean, Did you just see the deal that the Warriors signed for their patch with Rokatin or something like that?
I saw it cross through on my newsfeed. What was it? How much?
$20 million a year for that little patch, and it's just like an R. And that's it.
Nice.
Nobody even knows what Rokatin does.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
That was the solution.
Japanese ran country or company. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, only a couple teams have it. Every team has the right, but
I think you'll see more and more.
Yeah, you'll get more and more. Obviously, what the Hornets have the Jordan logo. Cleveland has Goodyear. GE is for Boston. I think the Kings have Blue Almond.
Yeah.
Or Blue
that's all they're allowed to have is just a small little patch.
Yeah, it's like a little 2x2 patch or whatever, how big it can be.
And then somebody offers them $20 million or more for their right shoulder, and the NBA says, well, we'll tax 25% of that. So yeah, you could now we can have a right shoulder patch.
Yeah, well, hey man, it makes sense though, because when people obviously those are going to have to be included on all the jerseys they make and sell. Right. So I mean, that's just walking billboards for you.
Maybe that's why the NBA doesn't crash. They start patching up their jerseys. I did not incorporate that in my. But if they're getting $20 million,
it's gonna be. I mean, that's just for the team, though. I think the team keeps that. I'm sure the NBA probably gets something of it, but I know they'll end up putting it on the court sooner or later. They're gonna get ads on the court, but like sidelines.
Yeah. Well, I think they, if they ever did open it up where it was kind of like a free market and not much of a salary cap, that's what they would have to do. And you'd see some of these teams making some money, making more.
Well, I mean, kind of a short one. We can. Do we have any top hat segments? Anything we want to bring up?
We don't have the top hat, but we could address the quarterback tier thing that we came across.
So, should we just name our top 5?
Yeah, we can go ahead and name the top. Or what'd you say?
Bring out the. I don't have it in front of me, Diggs. But what was the? Well, there was.
I'm pulling it up now.
There was how many tiers?
I think there was 5, but let me see. I know I had it.
I don't. One right away they had Drew Brees is in the number 2 tier, and I don't quite. He's a really good quarterback, but he's past his prime. I hate to say that because I love Drew Brees. You can't put him as a tier 2 quarterback. He's down there in 3 or 4 as of now. But
yeah, I'm looking at it. If you don't have it yet, Diggs, I think you posted it.
Yeah, I got it.
All right. So what was tier 1?
Tier 1 was Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Yes, they belong.
Agree with that. Yeah, tier 2
is Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr, Big Ben, and Andrew Luck.
See
how is Matthew Stafford not in there? This is where my gripe came.
Yeah.
So first of all, who do we take out? Like I've got to take out. You said Drew Brees is in there.
Mm-hmm. Matt Ryan.
I have to take out.
I'm gonna take Derek Carr out right now, just for right now.
Yeah, Derek Carr has a lot of
the upside. Yeah,
you got to take him out. If we're talking about best quarterbacks right now, you got to take him out. Big Ben.
He's on and off, man. He's
on
hot
exactly.
And cold.
He's hot and cold. He's got Super Bowls, but he's had some great defenses, and I don't know, man. If you can,
I'll keep him there. Yeah, I think I'll keep him there.
All right. Well, we definitely are moving Matthew Stafford up.
Yeah.
There's no way he's a tier 3 quarterback.
That's tier 2. He's tier 2.
That Matthew Stafford? No, I'm saying like.
Oh no! I'm
tier
sorry.
2.
I'm thinking Matt Ryan.
No, yeah. Well, Matt Ryan, yeah, we'll see what he does. He didn't look too hot against Chicago.
So let's since we're kind of, it's hard to describe the different tiers to the audience. Let's go top 10 QBs.
Okay.
Does that sound fair?
We'll name it. All right. We'll try to. We'll all agree on it. So number 1, we all are going to put Aaron Rodgers / Tom Brady 1A 1B. So those are top 2.
Yeah. I would say it's tough to pick a number 1, but Tom Brady is 40, so I'd probably slide Aaron Rodgers in number 1.
Yeah.
And then TB too.
Okay.
3.
That's a tough one. Let me pull up this list in front of me, man.
It's tough. Gosh, who do I go? Because Russell Wilson, I'm not so he doesn't have much of an offensive line, but I'm still.
Dude, his Super Bowl comes from the defense.
Yeah,
his defense always wins it for him, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I mean, he has subpar receivers and running game this year. I don't know.
Exactly.
I think he takes.
So I think we like Matt Ryan would say there. Matt Ryan, Big Ben.
All right, who's going 3 though? We got to have a third, like a concise 3.
I said if Stafford keeps it up from last year.
I'm leaning towards Stafford right now. To be honest,
we're going Stafford as number 3. Yo, we can make we're gonna make our own QB tier and we'll post it. Yeah. We'll put our top just critting around top 10.
All right.
So right now we got. Are you writing it down, Diggs? You need me to write it down.
Well, yeah, you write it down.
All right, I'm just gonna write it on. Well, I can't. Hold on. Where's my notepad?
We'll get it. We
One second.
We don't have notepads anymore.
1 second.
I got y'all. Don't worry about it.
All right, you got it. All right. So 1, we got Aaron Rodgers. 2, we got Tom Brady. So 3rd, this is where it gets kind of tough. We're gonna go Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I'm going Stafford. My vote's on Stafford.
Hey, look, I ain't hating. I'm cool with that.
I think it's a little, especially after last weekend, but I'm incorporating last year.
Yeah, last year too as well. Yes,
his progression.
Right. I think Matthew Stafford. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go 3 because honestly, in this QB tier list that we have been talking about, it's more when people are ranking elite quarterbacks, it seems they're putting them more based on what they've done. You know what I mean? Like living on their past and their name.
Yeah.
So we're going to break that mold and we're going to go what we've seen within the last year.
Yeah, I say that's perfect.
Okay. So 3rd is Matthew Stafford.
I think 4, you got to go probably Matt Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we go Matt Ryan. I'm cool with that. I
think 5 is.
And if people want to argue that, Matt Ryan had such a better year than Matthew Stafford, well, he also had, Freeman in the backfield, Julio Jones, Gabriel, Sanu. So
way better
and a really good defense.
Right. All Matthew Stafford has really is Tate and now that Galladay, but he's a rookie. So what are we on 5 now? We went Ryan.
5.
So 5, man. See, this is where it gets tough, man.
This is it.
I'm going Luck.
Oh,
you're going Luck?
I'm going Luck, man.
That's a little. See, I mean, you're a Colts fan.
See,
so.
I understand that's what you're saying, but if you look at the numbers he put up last year.
See, no, this is where I'll give it to you. Without Luck, look how bad they did.
Hey, all right.
Yeah.
Point taken.
But 5, talent for sure.
He has the athlete. There's no quarterback in the league, maybe Cam, that can just run an offense and has the athleticism to go with it as well.
Yeah. Okay. Look, you know what? And we'll factor in the age into that. We'll put him there at 5. Right. Are we cool with that, Justin? You think anybody should be over him?
4,300 yards, 31 touchdowns, 13 picks. I mean, come on, guys.
I'm cool. I am cool with that. If we just look at kind of last year and then this one,
I mean,
you got to think about Derek Carr.
Derek Carr is 6. I put Carr at 6.
That's why I almost put Carr ahead of Luck.
All right.
So we'll go Luck. Yeah. I mean, we'll let that's
5-6
close.
on that.
All right, so we got Derek Carr.
Man,
7. So I mean, we still have a Carson Palmer out there. We've got Big Ben.
Definitely not Carson.
We've got Russell Wilson, which was on their tier.
Look,
their high tier list.
I think Russell's got to be lower, a little bit lower. What are we? We're on 7, right?
Yeah.
Look, 7. I'm gonna throw a name out there. For 7, man, Do we go? Are we going to? We think Drew Brees is on the backside, right?
Yeah, but last year he had,
I can't really disrespect the guy.
Yeah, I got him in the seven.
He's one of those where he's done things the right way. He's got to be probably number 10.
You're gonna go 10?
I think we got to because he's not.
So we're judging more upside in there too, right?
Like this year and like the first week, I think you got to put. We're he's in the top 10. I can't.
We'll adjust these. This can be our power rankings per se.
Right.
So we can adjust them.
Big Ben. Who would we put at number 7?
So at number 7, honestly, yeah, I'm gonna go Big Ben at 7.
Yeah, I think I see him at number 7.
Number 7 at 7.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Big Ben at 7. 8. Ooh, is this? Let's go Drew Brees at 8.
Yeah. All right, Drew Brees.
Okay,
cool at 8.
Drew Brees at 8. 9.
Wilson can have that.
Yeah, I think we got to get Russ in the top 10.
Russ 9. And 10, let's end it out strong here. I'm going to go with
Sam
Mariota.
Just joking.
Honestly, no.
Mariota.
Look, Sam Bradford, though.
Look how
he looked great last night.
And going back to last year, has looked great.
I think we got to put Sam at 10.
Look.
Because Mariota didn't have a complete season, so it's...
All right. I want to put Bradford in the honorable mention right now. I don't know if I can put him at 10. 10, we might get ethered and shut down by the internet.
Well, the thing is he could go out and break his leg next week.
What about Alex Smith at 10?
Alex Smith? Come on, can we? Phillip Rivers? Like, come on, man.
But Phillip Rivers loses games.
Phillip Rivers has always been overrated to me, and I told myself I would never put him in a top.
Last year, the Chargers were winning almost every game that they lost, and he would just throw. I mean, granted, they would have fumbles too, but he would just throw picks in the fourth quarter, man. I don't know. Phillip Rivers is really good, though. But in my opinion, I think it's going to come down to Alex Smith. Bradford can be in the discussion. I don't think Flacco's that good. Dak is still too young for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it comes down to Mariota, Alex Smith, maybe Bradford, and
do y'all want to consider Kirk Cousins?
For 10? Man, he looks so bad. I mean, when I saw him in the first week, he didn't look good. Yeah.
I would say Cam, but he was hurt last year, so he slid down. Down.
Yeah, Cam would definitely. I mean, we'll see. This list could change entirely by the end of the season.
I mean, we can change it. We'll change it like halfway through the season, and then we'll have our final one.
So
this is our week 1
pick
power
one.
ranking.
We're going Mariota.
Mariota or Smith?
I say we got to go Alex Smith.
Yeah, Alex Smith.
Because he played. I mean, he beat Pittsburgh last year. No, they lost to Pitt. Okay, but I mean, he played well last year. I gotta go Smith.
Yeah, I think we got to go Alex Smith there. I mean, he's still balling. Even if they go with Mahomes next year, he will get a job somewhere and he will play.
Yeah. And even if I say Alex Smith because even if he doesn't put up crazy numbers, he's not going to lose you the game.
Right, exactly.
No. He will not lose it.
He'll run you your offense. He'll keep you in the game basically.
I mean, he really hasn't. He had Crabtree for a little bit. He hasn't had a top receiver.
No.
Which is probably a blessing for him. He's had some good tight ends, but it's I think helped him out if anything.
Yeah. So I mean, honorable mention. I think we got to throw Sam Bradford in there, not solely because of yesterday, but his final games of the year last year, he was actually very, very much improved ever since. Who took over their offensive coordinator? I forget who it is. But
what is his name? I just saw him yesterday. Yeah, because he's been his offensive coordinator for when he was in Philadelphia.
Is it Shermer? Is it?
No. Who?
It is. I'm pulling it up right now before we end this show because we gotta know. It's not North Turner.
Who is it? Who is it?
I'm going coaches. Hold up, I'm on there.
No, it was Norv.
Yeah, it's Shermer. Yeah, Pat Shermer.
Shermer. Good one, Diggs.
There you go, Diggs. I see you, man. Look at you.
Look at that.
That
intellectual capital that he houses in his. I guess blind face. Or
I'm just scrolling down here. They got Tony Sperano as their offensive line coach. All right, my bad. But
he looked great. And the thing about Bradford, he looks like a stick. He looked thicker in college. More. He was still kind of skinny, but he looked more muscular in college. And now he's just a little stick out there, but throwing darts.
Yeah. No, I mean, dude, those sleeves got some powers in them.
Hey, that's Peyton Manning.
It's not like he has a top flight receiver there either.
He didn't wear those sleeves in college.
No, he didn't. I know. Yeah, trust me, I know.
This was like so odd that
we're gonna end the show on this, and it's a good memory. I know y'all remember last year when they put up the picture of Sam Bradford's face on Teddy Bridgewater with that, like, trying to dupe us all. It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
No,
yeah, it was bad. I was like, what is this? But other than that, do we have anything to add, guys? Aaron, you got anything you want to say?
No, I ain't got nothing.
You got a prediction for your Colts game? We'll do that. What you got? Who you guys got? What's your prediction?
It depends on. I can't make a prediction until we figure out who's starting.
All right, Justin. What you got for your Niners? You took the L 23-3 to my boys.
Yeah, let me see. Thought you were gonna ask me the OU score. My Niners.
Okay. OU. Who do y'all play?
Oh, Tulane. I got OU for sure.
Oh, okay. What's the over/under?
I'm going Tulane just because I'm salty.
But yeah, we'll see. My brother, they open up their stadium against Houston Baptist. So
is
it's
it a
kind
new
of cool.
stadium?
It's a new stadium, so I'll take a lot of picks.
Cool.
I was at Colorado State this past weekend. They lost, but my brother had a good game, threw for 260 yards. So we'll see. Hopefully, now they're in conference play. They're playing somebody their own size, so to speak. Because they kept up with those teams. It's the depth took a toll towards the end. So, anyways, yeah, I definitely got OU. Who do my Niners play this next week? I haven't picked my scores yet. So,
I think you guys play the Seahawks or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Let's see.
I know the Panthers had the Bills. It's going to be tricky because Sean McDermott's up there, and he used to be our defensive coordinator, so he knows our ins and outs.
Yes.
So it could be an interesting game, but I think Panthers come out on top. Cam completed his last 9 passes of the game. It looked like he started getting to a rhythm with the shoulder. So I expect big things. Did you figure out who you play, the Seahawks?
Yeah, we play the Seahawks, so we're definitely losing that game.
That's
cool. We play
yeah.
the Seahawks.
At least Reuben Foster only sprained his ankle.
Yeah, so that was good. But our
other than that,
Diggs,
I think that's going to do it for the show.
Oh, never mind. We got his. I just was the Rams. McVay's gonna. Let's see if he can beat the.
They got good
Redskins.
things on the horizon there.
Yeah, Rams are playing the Redskins. Who do y'all got?
They got that W, bro. They got that W. Right. Who y'all got? I got Rams, and I'm not even throwing shade. I just got the Rams over the Redskins.
I got Rams.
Yeah, I got
Redskins
Rams too.
Don't have
All right.
wideouts.
It's a deal. Get ready to get blown up by the DC boys.
I think Aaron Donald's going to come back and raise hell. So
he probably will. I mean, it's probably been eating right. That's going to do it for the show today. We'll see you guys next episode for episode 22.
Oh,
you got the Note 8?
I'm going to go play with this a little bit.
I gotta go get a new phone, bro. My phone dies. I was at 100% when I got into class at 3:30, and by 4 o'clock it was dead. I was done. I wasn't even on it like that. I was pissed. So I need to get a new phone. I think my upgrade's here, so I might get a Note. I've been looking at it. I don't know.
Come this way, man. iPhone. I mean, unless you spend at least a G, you're not getting much for with an iPhone. Yeah. And even that, you're getting facial recognition. Did you guys see the video? The guy on the live stream, he couldn't get it to work.
Look, man.
I don't think people realize that feature has been on like LG and Samsung for years.
I mean, it's on all the Microsoft tablets.
We have options. We can do fingerprint, whatever. Yeah. Apple's like, we took away fingerprint.
Yeah. Whatever. Look, I've always been the one. Phones don't bother me too much as long as it does what I really wanted to do, which is go on the internet, text, call, and has apps. I'm cool. But other than that, we'll see you guys next episode, episode 22. I'm already dubbing it the McCaffrey episode. We'll see you guys then. It was a pleasure. Peace.
All right.